On a quiet Saturday evening in 1978, a young pilot climbed into a small Cessna aircraft and took off into the fading Australian daylight. His name was Frederick Valentich, 20 years old, ambitious, serious about aviation, and dreaming of joining the Royal Australian Air Force. But just 47 minutes after takeoff, something happened over the Bass Strait that has haunted investigators for more than 4 decades. Frederick didn't simply crash, he didn't simply get lost, he vanished, along with his aircraft, after reporting something impossible in the sky above him. What follows is one of the most chilling aviation mysteries ever recorded, the story of the pilot who vanished mid-flight. It's hovering, and it's not an aircraft. Frederick Valentich grew up in Melbourne, Australia. Friends described him as polite, disciplined, and slightly intense. From childhood, he had one dream: to become a professional pilot. He studied aviation carefully, logging hours whenever he could afford the rentals. But Frederick was not regarded as a flawless pilot. He had failed certain exams more than once and had been involved in minor airspace violations. Still, his instructors believed he had potential. He was determined, methodical, and unusually fascinated by unexplained aerial phenomena. To Frederick, the sky wasn't just a workplace, it was a frontier of mysteries waiting to be understood. In the months leading up to his disappearance, family and friends said he had become increasingly vocal about one subject: unidentified flying objects. He even told his girlfriend, "If a UFO wanted to take me, I'd go willingly." No one knew how seriously he meant it. No one imagined he would become part of a story that would make headlines around the world. October 21st, 1978, early evening. Frederick filed a flight plan from Moorabbin Airport to King Island, a short trip over the Bass Strait. It was supposed to be a routine ferry flight. He told air traffic control he was going to pick up friends, but later investigation revealed that no one on King Island was expecting him. What was his real purpose for flying that night? At 6:19 p.m., Frederick took off in perfect weather visibility, excellent winds, aircraft, Cessna 182L, fully functional, good fuel. For nearly half an hour, the flight was perfectly normal. Then at 7:06 p.m., he contacted Melbourne Flight Service with a strange request. "Is there any known traffic below 5,000? The controller checked. There was no traffic, no aircraft anywhere near him. Frederick sounded tense, not panicked, but alert. Then he said the words that begin the mystery. "There is a large aircraft below me, and it's playing some sort of game. It's flying over me, and it's not an aircraft." Melbourne asked for clarification. What did he mean? Frederick explained. It had 4 bright lights. It moved much faster than a normal aircraft. It seemed to hover. It made no identifiable sound. It appeared to be metallic and shiny. The controller asked him to confirm what he was seeing. Frederick, it's not an aircraft." There was silence on the radio before he spoke again, describing the object circling him. The controller asked Frederick to identify his altitude. His reply was calm. "I am orbiting, and the thing is orbiting on top of me also." This was not normal. No pilot jokes about this. No hoax continues this long during real aviation communication. At 7:12 p.m., Frederick said the object was approaching from the southwest. Then he reported his engine was running rough. The controller asked him to repeat. Frederick said, "My intentions are to go to King Island. That strange aircraft is hovering on top of me again. It's hovering, and it's not an aircraft." Then came the final transmission. A long metallic scraping sound, 12 seconds of audio. Then nothing. Total silence. Search and rescue was launched at dawn. Boats, aircraft, and Coast Guard patrols scoured the Bass Strait. Not a single piece of the Cessna was ever found. No oil slick, no debris, no parachute, no body. Aircraft wreckage in the Bass Strait normally surfaces quickly. Frederick did not. Witnesses from the coastline came forward claiming they had seen a bright green light moving rapidly, an object descending behind the hills, a strange craft with no aircraft navigation lights. One witness, a man out walking his dog, said he saw a green light following a smaller plane shortly before the disappearance. Another group described a green, fast-moving object shaped like a cigar. However, no physical evidence surfaced. The case remained open. Some investigators believe Frederick simply became disoriented and crashed into the sea, but experts disagree. He was flying in perfect visibility. He was not a low-time pilot. The radio conversation did not resemble disorientation. And again, no wreckage was ever found. Water-impact crashes rarely leave zero trace. This explanation fails to address the hovering lights or metallic sounds. Psychologists propose that Frederick experienced sensory illusions due to stress or exhaustion, but the distress in his voice never escalated. It stayed calm, steady, purposeful. Pilots under hallucination typically experience confusion, not clear identification attempts. Also, hallucinations do not produce 12 seconds of metallic audio. Theory 3: Inverted flight. A small number of skeptics suggested he was flying upside down, misinterpreting his instruments, and the lights were reflections of his own plane. This theory collapses immediately. The Cessna 182 cannot remain inverted. The engine would stall. The pilot would know immediately. The craft cannot hold upside-down level flight long enough for the conversation. This is physically impossible. Some believe Frederick wanted to disappear, but he left no money trail, no life insurance, no debt, no preparation, no evidence of suicidal thoughts, no sightings anywhere after the event. Also, staging a disappearance by crashing into rough ocean at night, almost unheard of. What if Frederick saw a top-secret aircraft? Possible but not likely. No military test flights were scheduled. No experimental craft matched his description. His aircraft never appeared on the radar of any military station. Both governments formally denied involvement. This is the explanation most people remember. Why? Because Frederick's description matched dozens of independent sightings that same night, before news of the disappearance went public. Witnesses described a glowing cigar-shaped object, fast-moving green light, an object hovering over the water. Australian UFO groups collected multiple reports from fishermen and coastal locals. Even the official Australian government file acknowledged the encounter as unresolved. To this day, no explanation has been agreed upon. Months later, a torn map of the Bass Strait was found in Frederick's belongings. On the margin, he had handwritten a note. UFOs, speculation, danger. Next to it, drawings of classic saucer-shaped craft. His father publicly stated, he said he had seen a UFO once before, and he believed if one ever landed, they would not harm him. Some believe Frederick was specifically looking for UFO activity that night. Others think he accidentally encountered something. But whatever happened, it happened fast, it happened without witnesses, and it happened without a trace. Frederick Valentich became a legend. Investigators continue to study the case. Aviation experts still debate the recordings. UFO researchers still argue that the case is one of the strongest in history. But the facts remain brutally simple. There's no debris, no aircraft, there's no body, no explanation. A young pilot vanished mid-flight after reporting something that could not be explained. In the end, all we are left with is a voice crackling through static. It's hovering and it's not an aircraft. Then metallic noise, then silence. More than 40 years have passed, and the Bass Strait still keeps its secret. Whatever Frederick saw that night, he took with him into the darkness. Was it a miscalculation, a government secret, or a historic encounter with something not of this earth? The truth remains somewhere above the silent waves. The world is full of mysteries still waiting in the shadows, and this channel brings them into the light. Thank you for watching, and if you want more stories just like this, subscribe, hit the bell, and join me on the next journey. Until then, keep your eyes open. Some mysteries never sleep.